election of a Member of Parliament to the Wales constituency. I, the undersigned, being the acting returning officer at the election of a Member of Parliament for the Wales constituency, give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the election is as follows. Paul Arnold, Independent, 83. Jonathan Cousins, Green Party, 2,331. Dave Dobbs, the Birthday Party, 81. James Stephen Heapy, the Conservative Party candidate, 26,247. Helen Dorothy Hims, UK Independence Party, 5,644. Chris Inchley, Labour Party, 3,780. Tessa Jane Munt, Liberal Democrats, 18,662. Gypsy Watkins, Independent, 76. The number of ballot papers rejected was as followed. For want of an official mark, none. Voting for more candidates than the voter was entitled to, 55. Writing or a mark by which the voter could be identified, 6. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 121. So the total rejected ballot papers was 182. And I do hereby declare that the said James Stephen Heapy is duly elected for the Wales constituency.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for such a long night's work. Firstly, I'd like to thank the returning officer, the staff here at the count, and all those who ran polling stations yesterday. Thanks also to the police and those responsible for the security of the election and the count overnight. There are many people in this room who are yearning for their beds, so I'll try to be brief. However, I must thank the Wales Conservative Association for selecting me as their candidate, and my wonderful campaign team for their unstinting and generous support over the last 2 years. Whether fundraising, organising, delivering, canvassing, helping in the office, or being part of our team out on the ground yesterday, it has been humbling to have so many hundreds of people working so hard to achieve this result. In particular, I'd like to thank my campaign chairman, John Carter, for the incredible effort he has personally put into my campaign. Our office manager, Suzanne Davis, for keeping me organised and grappling with all the unglamorous but essential stuff that keeps the campaign rolling forward. And finally, my campaign manager, Max Hopful. Max is one of the Conservative Party's brightest stars. And with his boundless energy, I stand here today on his shoulders. Max, she would have been very proud of you today. Also, my thanks and love to my wife Kate, our wonderful children Tilly and Charlie, and to all my friends and family who have been so full of love, kindness and support over the last few years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to offer my congratulations to all of my fellow candidates for their campaigns. In particular, my thanks go to Tessa Munt and her parliamentary office for all of their hard work over the last 5 years. I very much hope that we can work together over the next few weeks to ensure a smooth transition. The result tonight reflects a nationwide rejection of Nick Clegg and the Liberal Democrats, and a widely held belief in towns and villages across the Wales constituency that the country could not afford and did not want a Labour government. People have voted resoundingly for a Conservative majority government, and it looks this morning that that has been achieved. Into those strong headwinds, Ms Munt and her hard-working team have fought on, and it is absolutely clear to everybody in this room that the result tonight does not reflect that work. I've now had the opportunity to serve this community and our country, throughout my campaign. I have spoken of pride I took in serving my country with it whilst in our armed forces. And so I'd like to pause very briefly this morning to pay tribute to those serving our country at home and around the world. I now have the opportunity to serve this community and our country as the Member of Parliament for this wonderful constituency. Serving as your MP will be the greatest honour, and I will work tirelessly to stand up for you in Westminster. And so my final thank you is to the people of the Wells constituency. Whether I won your support yesterday or not, I look forward to serving you all. Thank you.
I actually did turn it off.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the counting staff and those who've run and worked in the polling stations. They work such long hours. I'd like to thank the police for keeping law and order, the very thing that gives us the freedom to campaign in the way that we do. I'd like to congratulate all of the candidates for meeting the challenges of a long and hard campaign, and to James for his party's success. Unfortunately, I believe that money does talk. I'd like to thank my small but loyal and hard-working team who supported me over the last 5 years. Their dedication to dealing with the almost 24,000 cases that were raised by locals, supporting me in every single way. I'd like to thank my campaign team, Philip, John, Victoria, and the hundreds of volunteers and supporters from this part of Somerset who've helped in so many ways. Finally, I'd like to thank the voters who put their trust in me and my team in 2010 so that I could represent and defend this amazing part of the West Country. I can look back with pride at what I've achieved as this area's first full-time MP. We undertook 700 surgeries, and I know that the work that my team and I have done have set a new bar for any MP that follows me. I'm proud of what I've done. We sorted out the Chancellor's threatened caravan tax. I've been part of a very small group of MPs that set up the independent child abuse inquiry. We kept the Bishop in his palace in Wales. And I voted against fracking everywhere, not just on the Mendip Hills. And I'm particularly proud to have stood up for the very many vulnerable people that there are. So what can my constituents expect now? Sorry, my previous constituents expect now. I've repeatedly warned about what would happen if the West Country and the country went the same way as Somerset County Council has. And I'm deeply concerned, as we speak right now, Essex County Council is trying to investigate and run properly Somerset's Children's Services, which for the 3rd year has been judged inadequate. I know that James has said that once he was the MP, he could start to do something about this, but that's well over time. These are the most vulnerable individuals. I think it's really important that somebody gets a grip on this. But the most important thing is that actually this is what may happen nationally, and I don't fully understand what has happened in this patch or across the rest of the country, where there seems to have been a massive swing to the right and the far right. So my duty now is to contact everybody with an open file in my office. I shall give them the choice of whether we return the file to them or whether I pass those files on to James. To finish, several people have asked me what it is I intend to do now. The first thing I will do is spend an awful lot more time with my amazing partner David and my beautiful children Emma and Harry. And I think that for what I will occupy the rest of my time with, I think I'm probably going to end up causing trouble somewhere. I'm not entirely sure in what way yet. I've worked so hard to represent and defend this part of Somerset, and I will run again. I shall be back in 2020. I'm absolutely passionate about the work that I've done. It is a passion, it's not a job. So I look forward to meeting you again in 2020.